Hello and welcome to the Kat-Chup. We've got another episode for you this week, but in the midst of finals and everything that's been going on, we thought we'd just have a nice light-hearted episode. We'll just chat through the finals that we had over the weekend, what our weekends look like, and then tell you about some fun stuff that we've got upcoming. So I'd like to welcome in my co-host, the Rugby League Guru.
Catmandu, pleasure to be back. Obviously, we had Roasty on last week, which was recorded the week before. So it's been a while between grumpy coffees, dare I say.
I know. Shall we just for those at home?
Old brother Kemp doing great things in the coffee world.
I am a huge fan of this movement, of this business venture from Kempy. I'm such a coffee drinker. I have so much coffee. This is my third coffee and it is not even midday. So I'm definitely going to slow down now. But I love that he's done this and I love that he's pivoting a little bit away from the beer and diversifying because us non-beer drinkers, we need options as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even beer drinkers during the week, coffee's, I think, a pretty big essential for most people nowadays. And I love what Kempy's doing. And I've obviously known Kempy for a couple of years, Kat, considering to be one of my good mates. And I know when he's proper passionate about something. And this one's, I think it's a little bit of a fire in Kempy, which has been exciting to see. So very excited to see where it all goes. Obviously only just kicking off. But the amount of sign-ups he had last week and everything, it's an exciting time.
It is an exciting time. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And so watch this space. I think there'll be some really exciting products to come out of it. But in the meantime, we're going to keep drinking out of our grumpy coffee cups. Okay. So as I mentioned, there was obviously the finals games over the weekend. I myself had probably the busiest weekend that I've had all year. And it just so happened to collide with NRL finals, which is never good because you don't get to just sit down and take it all in as much as you'd like to. But I was in Surrey Hills on Friday night and I did get to see what was a sea of red and white because the Swans were playing at the SCG. But just next door at Allianz, we also had the Sharks and the Cowboys. And you had a few thoughts around the Sharks and I guess how they prepared for this game amidst the knowledge that the Swans would be playing next door. And it's hard to fight that the sea of red and white when the Swans are so close to grand final time and they're doing as well as they are. So do you want to talk us through your thoughts there?
Yeah, obviously the Sharkies played on Friday night taking on the Cowboys. And I guess for starters, the Cronulla Sharks, they don't have the biggest supporter base in the world. Like they obviously are one of 9 teams in Sydney as well. Like I look at the Swans and, the crowd they get there is incredible. And I think right now, Kat, the Swans have done a very good job. I think it's like the cool place to be at the moment, the AFL. It's a real vibe over there at the moment. And I also think I'm obviously a league fan. I don't have anything against AFL. I just haven't grown up with it and stuff. I'm not one of those AFL sucks kind of guys.
No.
It's a good sport. It's enjoyable. I actually think when you're watching it live, I think AFL's more enjoyable when you're out there. I think that rugby league, I personally think it's better on TV. I really do.
I agree.
AFL, and I know Kempy speaks about it a lot, and I know that you'll be able to talk about it more than me, Kat, and understand it a lot more than I do. But the way that I see AFL is that I love being out there at the ground because there's a lot of things going on off ball.
Yes.
And that's what Kempy says about soccer too, that he loves what's going on off ball, whereas realistically, rugby league, 99% of it is what's happening within 3 metres of the ball at all times.
Yeah, it's very
true. Which is what your TV screen is. And I guess soccer's very similar, the impression that Kempy gives me.
Yeah. I mean, it's so weird to say soccer. Football it's so formation based as well. Obviously, you have your strategies in league around positions and stuff like that, but it's very set in stone with football and everyone knows where they belong on that pitch. Yep. And so there's a lot of strategy around not just where the ball is, but where the ball's going and where the players need to be. So he definitely has a point there. But I think around AFL, it's not even that. It's that there are so many players on the field at any given time. It's actually like overstimulating to watch on TV. Yep. It looks messy. It looks chaotic. There's just limbs everywhere. And I played in high school. So
you played AFL in high school?
I played AFL in high school. Yep. So rules wise and all that, like I've got it, but I still find it quite chaotic to watch.
Yeah. And I stand by that. And that's not Rugby
It's not
league's
a
better,
hate on
AFL's
AFL,
worse, nothing
no.
like that. It's just AFL. I genuinely think it is better to watch out there as far as an event and with things to watch. I think it is better out there.
Yeah, my two best friends were there. They went to the Swans game because we were together earlier, and then they went off to the game. I didn't go, but Liana is a huge rugby league fan. She goes to all the games with me. She's coming with me this weekend to the major leagues. The major game, Major Leagues Grand Final. Is that right?
New South Wales Cup Grand Final.
Thank you. Let's just call it that. Sorry, they gave it some convoluted name, but she's coming with us to that. But she did say the one thing AFL have got right is the stadium entertainment. They had not only halftime entertainment, but quarter time entertainment. They have all the food stalls. They have everything going on. You can see there's money in the game as well. And I guess that's what happens when you've only got two Sydney teams as well. So the love has to be shared between Sydney and GWS. And obviously Sydney's got that history of North Melbourne and like that longevity behind it. So anyway, cool experience. But tell us about your thoughts about the Sharks, which was next door.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this came from that, there was that aerial shot of the SFS and the SCG. The SCG was packed, the SFS wasn't. And I get that. But I think you also just need to take in the context that Sydney has 2 AFL teams.
Yeah.
Sydney has 9 NRL teams. That was a prelim final. This one, a quarterfinal or semi-final or whatever it's called.
It's like
for the
reverse
NRL.
AFL though, isn't it?
Yeah, it didn't shock me that the Swans had more fans, and honestly, it doesn't really concern me. I mean, what were we talking about this time last week? Fuck, how are the Cowboys players going to get to Sydney?
Yeah.
How did you expect the fans to get down here? It was costing well over $1,000. I'm looking at the flights this week. If you're a Roosters fan, I've had a few message me this week, or I've had a lot message me this week, but the ones that wanted to talk about going to Melbourne next week, because the AFL Grand Final, the flights are the same as going to Europe.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's so... Well, because our birthday is always...
Your birthday.
Sorry,
Our birthday
is always on AFL because AFL is always a week before NRL.
Yep.
So our birthdays because I'm the 30th of September, you're the 29th, just for context. Our birthdays
Don't fucking forget it out there.
always full either on the AFL or the
Yep.
NRL Grand Final weekend, one or the other. And that's why going away is always so expensive. To go to anywhere where any of these grand finals are happening,
100%.
I always go the opposite direction. But so
realistically, you would have got Cowboys fans that live down here would have gone to the game. Wouldn't be many of them. Rando and about 7 other dudes.
Rando
no
and
one
his
else could have
mum.
got down here. Then you got the Sharkies who, and you know what? I'm going to defend the Sharkies because I think they did a really, really good job of promoting this game and trying to get people there. They had the advertisements calling it the Shark Tank over there, which I absolutely loved. Allianz Stadium, all their promotions, up to knee-high water with the fins and everything.
Yeah,
I
it's very
love that.
funny,
Then you had the G train, to get on that. And I was speaking. I actually happened to be in Cronulla on Saturday night, Kat. So the game was Friday night. We had a birthday there Saturday. I had a real lash. I thoroughly enjoyed myself in Cronulla. Great people down there. But talking to them, I didn't even realise this, but all the trains got cancelled. So the G train got cancelled Friday afternoon. And you know what? Part of me, Kat, sort of went, oh, fuck. Okay, your team's playing a sudden death final, jump in an Uber. I got an Uber home that night from Cronulla to Mascot, not to the stadium. It cost me $80.
yeah, I was going to say it's pretty hefty.
$80 both ways. And imagine the amount of traffic you'd get both ways. You're probably looking at $100. It's a lot of bicky, and, it's easy to say drive, but, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people in Cronulla that they're going to watch their team in a final. They'd want to go and have a few beers and enjoy themselves.
Well, you don't want people on the road drinking, so there needs to be an alternative.
Yeah, and I think that when you look down there at Cronulla, it's like I always look at Cronulla and go, it's like a country town that's in the city where, all my mates that night anyway, no one watched that Cronulla game without having a beer.
Do you know what? I think it was either Hindy or Fletch that said that it's Campbelltown on the water.
It's great. Yeah. Oh, and I love it. And, I don't think there would have been many Sharkies fans that wouldn't have enjoyed that game the other night without a beer in hand or, I think that.
I think just to your point around numbers, the reality is there are other clubs that had they made that level, that part of the finals, you could have filled a stadium.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Cronulla Sharks do have a more concentrated fan base. It might be smaller because of that.
Yep.
And, jokes aside that they don't leave the Shire, a lot of them don't leave the Shire. They like to watch from home, or they like to watch at
Yep.
areas in the Shire where they can all watch together, pubs and whatnot. Similar
Which
with
I
the
back.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
But that's the culture of the game.
Yeah.
It's that we do have these old clubs like South Sydney. It's been around since 1908. You have a huge fan base,
Yep.
but they didn't make the finals, so you're not going to fill stadiums with teams like that.
Yeah, and you also, once again, you have to share Sydney with 8 other teams.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
The AFL doesn't have that issue. And I think it's a little bit over the top, and I think it's ignored that, the night after that shocked me. We had 2 Sydney teams, the Roosters and the Manly Seagulls, and just about filled that stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. So
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it. I wish NRL was better when you're at the stadium than AFL? Yeah, 100%. But I'm willing to admit it's not. I think that when you're at the stadium, AFL is the better sport to watch as a spectacle on TV. Personally, and obviously I am a little bit biased, I think it's NRL by an absolute landslide when it comes to TV and just as a product.
Yeah.
But that's not to put AFL down. Like, I'll tell you what, if you gave me AFL or Rugby Union, I know what I'm watching 10 times over. I'll watch the AFL every day of the week. There's no questioning that.
Yeah.
But I think there is just a lot of context there, and I think the Sharkies did a really good job to promote that game and to try and get fans there. And I know that literally fans I sat next to on Saturday afternoon were having a beer with were filthy that they couldn't get to that game and they couldn't afford the $200 round trip to go there. I don't know what pricing and everything's like at the stadium for AFL. I assume it's same as league, but
it's also just challenging to get tickets.
Yeah.
They do a really good job of marketing it. One of my best friends, she sponsors the team, the company she works for, so she gets corporate tickets. But other than that, it's quite difficult if you don't know someone.
Yeah, it's tough. So I'm not too concerned about it. Ideally, would I rather Cronulla and Cowboys fill out the stadium? Yeah, I would, but just because they're not, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think there's a lot of context that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy for AFL to be doing well. I think the Swans, they're a good footy team.
Yeah,
They should have a big following.
Also, not to digress too far away from league, but the AFL chat around fan bases is a really interesting one because if you look at membership lists for the AFL, they've historically been able to drive membership sign-ups in a way that we've not been able to do in other sports. This isn't just a league thing. It would take a lot for us to get members to sign up at the rate that they do in AFL.
Yeah.
They have, like, the clubs are so old. They've been able to market memberships in such an exclusive way. If you look up membership numbers, they're insane.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And we can't compete with that in the NRL, but not that we are. It's just that they're a very different mentality behind the sports, and the way that Victorians do it and the way that New South Welshmen do it, it's just different.
It is completely different. And I'll be honest with you, I'm incredibly jealous of it. I think they do it tremendously well.
I think they've done a great job.
And they've always done it very well. And I think they've always done it better than us, to be completely honest with you. It's like a
Melbourne is
down
the
there
sports
almost,
capital of
100%,
Australia.
yeah.
100%. Okay, it might not be the hub for NRL, but they know how to put on a sports event.
And I mean, it might not be the hub for the NRL, but who's been the most successful team in the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Take out the Penrith Panthers over the last 3 years. And Melbourne do sport pretty well, and you got to give credit to them.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was worth adding in a little bit of context there. Shout out to the Sharkies and their social media team. I think they did a really good job, and just the Sharks in general. Just unlucky how it all played out. The second game, Roosters Manly. You were
I was at my cousin's wedding, and just it's a funny story in that pretty much all of my cousin's side of the family are Roosters supporters. They grew up in the East, and obviously you're either a South supporter or a Roosters supporter. They're all Roosters, so all his extended family are Roosters. And I always have banter with that side of the family whenever I go over, because it's just pretty much me and my mum that supports South Sydney, and my auntie, which is his mother. And she's the mother of the groom at this wedding. And when I arrived, I thought, are we going to put the footy on? There are so many Roosters supporters in this room, and it's such a high stakes game. Surely they play it at the wedding. I'm sure many of you listening or watching have been to a wedding where the footy's been on because the groom or whatever is a massive fan. It would be on at my wedding. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I asked the groom, and he said, my mum said no footy today. his mother, the mother of the groom, put her foot down and said, no one will be watching the footy at this wedding. Of course, people watch the footy on their phones and whatnot. But I thought it was hilarious that his mother, as the only South Sydney supporter in that family, put her foot down and said nobody is watching, and that means all you Roosters supporters have to suffer tonight.
I've got a somewhat similar story, and I've just actually realised looking down at my phone, my 21st birthday, I believe, was the 24th of September 2013.
Yeah.
Which is just about 11 years to the dot today. And I remember we were out there and had my 21st and everything, all my mates, family, all that sort of shit. And of course, all the screens were on, the footy was on. The South Sydney Rabbitohs were playing, I want to say, the Manly Seagulls that night. Major prelim final 2013. It was to get in and play the Roosters the next week in the grand final. And South Sydney, I remember my mum had one condition. She said, look, I'm happy for the footy to be on, blah, blah, blah. But just when we do speeches, can we just have the game off for 15 minutes? And I said, sure, whatever. This is obviously
I already
10
know
years
where
before
this is
Guru,
going.
whatever. Anyway, turns the TV off. And, a lot of my mates growing up in the South Sydney area are Rabbitohs fans, especially guys I went to school with and whatnot. Anyway, we turn the TV off, and you South Sydney fans at home will be able to get it really accurate. But I believe South Sydney were up something like 16 points to 2. And we turned the TVs off for 5 to 10 minutes, turned them back on, and I'm pretty sure Adam Reynolds had done a hamstring and the Manly Seagulls had made a huge comeback in that game. And I remember just turning the TVs on, everyone was happy, having a good time, and then the whole room just went completely deflated. Are you looking up the scores by any chance there?
No, but I can.
I'll get it up here. 2013, I've just about got it here. It's all good. It was, So at halftime, South Sydney was leading 14 points to 6. They got beaten 30 points to 20. So you have a look in the second half.
Yeah.
Dylan Walker scored in the last play of the game to get it to 30 to 20. Before that, it was 30 to 14 still. So from the
Jamie
moment,
Lyon went on one.
Insane. From the moment we turned the screen off, essentially, 30-0 in that game. So it was some very last try scorer from the Manly Seagulls in that game was the great Tommy Simons from the RLPA. He,
gosh, I love seeing those names on paper though. Isn't that cool?
I think he's calling us today, Tommy Simons. I don't know about something with the RLPA. He wants to do something. So one of the greats, Tom Simons there. But that was very similar to yours over the weekend, Kat. I remember the TV going off, no TVs. They were off for maybe 20 minutes. We turned it back on. It was just complete and utter carnage in that period. The whole room just went.
Oh, my.
Did you?
Yes.
And this is a big talking point we had around my wedding last year with the bloke crew. Obviously, footy was on that night.
Thanks for the invite to that again, by the way.
Well, can't win them all. If it was this year, you would have got an invite, okay?
Oh, cheers.
It's a pretty hot invite. It's hard to get your paws on. Don't worry about that.
I can tell.
I got to invite about 3 people. But we had the discussion in the lead up to my wedding where Kempy, Timmy and Maddie were sort of like, so phones out with footy on acceptable? And I was like, 100%. If I wasn't going to get in trouble for it, I'd be doing the exact same thing. So the back corner of my wedding with the bloke crew, I sort of set up with a couple of my other footy nuthead mates that I thought, you know what, you can all sit in the corner there and you can all have your phones out, KO up and running. And they did. And I back it.
I love it.
Did you at any point
whip
the dog and bone
Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, I did. There was a guy sitting across from me that was a Roosters supporter, and his favourite player was we talked all footy. His favourite player is Victor Radley. He was very excited that he made the extended, and then obviously he ended up featuring in the game, and he was quite impactful as well. So we chatted a bit about that. And of course I would just make sure every time my auntie walked past, I hit it. Lucky I am her favourite though, so I think she would have forgiven me.
Very good. I back that. Guys, I guess as well on top of that, we both got 0 from 2 tips.
0 from 2. Which
was devastating. On bloke, we have to give our tips for the game and then we have to give a try score in each game. And I completely forgot who my try scorers were. I came in there yesterday thinking, fuck, I didn't get a single bet and surely I didn't get any try scorers. In some weird turn of events, I managed to get 2 from 2 try scorers, but not a single tip. So it saved a lot of embarrassment. So
you knew you had an inkling of some kind, I
guess so. For me, they obviously weren't upsets because the favourites won, but I expected both those games to go differently. And we can actually have a look at it now, Kat. Like the final series, I've enjoyed it. outside of the Manly Bulldogs game, we haven't really had any games that have gone right down to the wire. The
Yeah.
Cowboys Knights game was a good one, but I always felt like the Cowboys were sort of in control of that game. The Knights had their opportunities, but it wasn't like an absolute down to the wire crazy game. So pretty much everything that has happened so far has gone to plan.
Yeah, it's been pretty straightforward.
Like Canterbury's been the only home team to lose so far this final series, and
But
Manly
I think
were the favourites
with
anyway.
the context of that game, Manly were the favourites to win it, and they did. But that was a great game. That was probably my favourite game so far of the finals, just because, to your point, it was right down to the wire, and that's what you want. I think you want finals to feel like that. You don't ever want it to be a thrashing, which I think we saw a bit of this weekend.
I hate to say it, but I think we might see a bit more of as well.
I think you might be right.
I think the Sharkies are in a little bit of trouble. I think the Roosters can put up a fight this weekend, but I just think Melbourne and Penrith have a week off. They'll be too good. But we'll get to that during this week, still to come. But an exciting round of footy, and we've got something on this Sunday,
We do.
which I'm really excited for.
We do.
We're
you
going
want
out to Combank Stadium.
Wait, first of all, it's your birthday that day.
It is my birthday, correct. So in typical Guru fashion, I'll be spending my birthday at the Jersey Flag and New South Wales Cup Grand Final, which
I
is
think
probably the most fitting narrative
I think
of
it
all
actually
time.
goes the other way. They put it on your birthday.
Of course, they lined it up. Yeah. So we'll be out there for that. That'll be a cracker. Looking forward to the Jersey
It'll be fun.
Flag.
I was actually there last year at the New South Wales Cup Final.
Bunnies won that.
They did.
Ty Munro.
did. Yes, that's where I saw Ty the first time. And he was, because we were right near the front and he was right there. And I was thinking, there's something about this kid. And boy, was I right.
It could be anything, this kid.
He was anything and he is anything.
Yeah, so it's exciting. We've got obviously I believe it's the Sharkies and the Bulldogs going head to head in the Jersey Flag Grand Final. I'll just double check that, but I'll tell you what. Obviously my brother Josh plays in the Jersey Flag, and Kat, I remember probably 10 weeks ago I was watching Roosters versus Cronulla in Jersey Flag, and Cronulla won, but I walked away from that game thinking, fuck, the Roosters are a better team than this Cronulla mob. And I looked at the ladder and Cronulla were coming about 10th or 11th, and I thought, oh, God, it's a bad loss by the Roosters. And I remember after it, Josh and some of his mates said to me, Cronulla are starting to get a bit of momentum though. Like they're starting to play all right. And I sort of went, whatever, sweet. Anyway, they played them again about 5 weeks later and Cronulla won again. And then you have a look at their season. Yeah, they've gone on this incredible run to make it to the grand final. It's been a really good knock by the Sharkies. They've got a couple of very good players in there. The lock forward, I absolutely love. You guys will see him on the weekend. And this Canterbury side as well. Obviously, the Bulldogs obviously had a great year in first grade. SG Ball, Harold Matz all did very well. And now they've gone all the way to the grand final here in Jersey Flag. So Canterbury sitting in a very, very good spot heading into the future. So that'll be exciting.
Very good signs for Canterbury.
And also, shout out to the Cronulla Sharks. They're in a prelim final. They're in the Jersey Flag Grand Final. And the Newtown Jets, their reserve grade team, in the grand final here as well. So Cronulla doing a number of very, very good things for a team that, myself included, the main criticism last week was they can't win big games. In the 3 grades, first grade, New South Wales Cup, Jersey Flag, they're in the biggest or the second biggest game of the year. So credit to the Sharkies doing good things. They're taking on the North Sydney Bears, who are aligned with the Melbourne Storm this year. Very proud club, the Bears, obviously, and been very popular. It'd be cool if they could, knock up one more premiership as the North Sydney Bears before the Bears become potentially the Perth side. So that'd be cool. But interesting about the New South Wales Cup sides here, Kat, like quite often, and South Sydney's a really good example last year. Like if South Sydney were in the finals last year, Ty Munro is probably not playing in that game. These two teams, they're aligned with Melbourne and the Cronulla Sharks, who are both still playing finals this weekend. So they've sort of done it with their genuine squad. Yeah. Not with superstars coming back and blowing it up.
Whereas like when you look at the Raiders, for example, there are so many young guys like Chevy Stewart and whatnot that can easily move up to this game. Yeah.
Well, the Canberra Raiders team last week, I took a screenshot of it, but when they uploaded their final team list once they had all their changes and everything, because they could bring guys back, the team list was absolute carnage. Like, I reckon there was maybe 4 positions in the 17 that were where they genuinely should be. The numbers were just all over the place because they had so many changes.
Wow.
So full credit to to those two sides who have got in there with their genuine squads. That'll be super exciting this weekend. I do repeat, it is my birthday this weekend, so make a big deal out of it for all of you out there.
Are you a birthday person?
Hate them. Fucking hate them, Kat.
Yeah.
Can't
Why do you
stand them.
hate them? You don't like the attention.
I don't
on
like
you.
the attention. I don't like.
That's crazy from the rugby league guru who
Tell me
films
about it.
himself 7
Oh,
times
if
a
I'm
week.
talking about something I enjoy and whatnot, I love it. But
No, it's okay,
I
I'm joking.
genuinely think, Kat, the worst 90 seconds of each calendar year is when someone sings you. I never know what to do with my hands. I never know where to
they're
look.
the worst.
It's the worst. I fucking
They're the
hate it.
worst. I actually I dislike that moment a lot
It's
as
brutal.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. And like as you get older, you don't have to do it as much. Like when I had my 30th 2 years ago or whatever, I just remember standing there going, I hate this.
Yeah.
Room of people all looking at you, don't know what to do with my hands, don't know where to look, don't know what to do. Just like, nah, not for me.
Yeah, it's such an awkward moment. And it's like all people that you know as well, and it's still so awkward.
Still so
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing it for someone else, I'm like, this is so nice. But as soon as it's flipped, I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah, I'm like,
This is dreadful. Yeah.
make it end.
Yeah. So I assume that New South Wales Rugby League will probably roll a cake out onto halfway at some point. Maybe at half
Yeah.
time.
I've got to
the
get back
grand
to them
final
about
or
that.
something like that. Yeah, you get back to them on that. But yeah, that's going to be a fun Sunday. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Shout out to New South Wales Rugby League who reached out, gave us a bait to that one. So that one's going to be good fun on Sunday. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think we can probably dive straight into everybody's favourite segment, which is the Guess Roo.
Guess rulers. Okay,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah. Say again. Oh, it's been a while.
Been
Sorry,
a while.
I missed what you
I'm
said.
warmed up, ready to go.
Yeah, and once again, thank you to NRL Odd Stats for providing these guest roos. For those who've been wondering, no, it's not my brain power, it's his. And he comes through. Have we done a score check? I think he's got you twice now.
Yeah, I think we're about even. He might be one up
Interesting.
overall.
Well, I've got 2 for you today.
I think when we actually did a score count last time, the three of us, I think he was trying to give me a win somewhere, and I was like,
well, there was
one.
there was one that you got, but I think you felt that
It took
I
too
had
long.
given you a few too many clues.
I agree. Yeah. So I think we're about even, or he's one up, one of the two. Anyway,
All right.
It's redemption season. Let's do the damn
Redemption
thing.
season. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Born in Bundaberg.
Born in Bundaberg, sweet. Got 2 heads, noted.
76 NRL games across 3 clubs.
Bundaberg, 76 NRL games across 3 clubs. Yep.
Debuted 2004. Retired 2011.
All right, so made his debut in 2004 from Bundaberg, played for 3 clubs, 76 games across, what was it, like 7 years. So he's sort of in and out in first grade, or he's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, 04 to 11.
Okay, 3 clubs. Yep. Tough.
Played in 2 finals games in 2 finals series, with his second finals appearance at hooker.
Oh, you've got me in an absolute pretzel. Okay, he played in 2 separate final series.
2 finals games in 2 finals series. The second finals appearance at hooker.
Okay, so does that indicate to me that his first finals appearance probably wasn't at hooker, so maybe he's a bit of a versatile sort of dude? Okay, from Bundaberg, retired 2004.
The next clue is the 3 positions that he was able to play.
Can I have my first guess?
You absolutely can.
I don't think I'm right here, but I'm going to take a little stab. Is it Heath Lestrange?
It's not.
Not Heath Lestrange, okay. Okay, next clue.
Played second row, hooker, and 5'8".
Second row, hooker, and 5'8", debuted in 2004.
Retired 2011.
Retired in 2011. Played in 2 final series, 2 games in each. Second one he played at hooker. Okay. I'm trying to think of hookers from that period. Bundaberg, Queenslanders.
Did you want to guess any clubs?
Yeah. So did he play for a Queensland club at any? Who did he
Yes,
debut for?
there's one Queensland. Do you want me to tell you who he
Did he
played
debut
for?
for a Queensland club?
No, he didn't.
Fuck, that makes it hard. Which Queensland club did he play for?
Gold Coast Titans.
Gold Coast Titans. Okay.
He retired there.
He retired.
So that was
at the
his third
Titans.
club.
So that was 2011. So that means he could have played finals in 2010 at the Gold Coast Titans if he was a hooker. Nathan Friend played more than 76 games. Wasn't
Not
Friendy?
him.
No. Is it Ooh. Is it Beau Falloon? Oh, tough.
This is a toughie.
Give me one more clue.
Okay, I'm winging it now.
I think if I don't get it from this one, I am...
One game for New South Wales residents in 04. Is that helpful?
Not at all.
Okay, I'll give you another.
No, that's all right. So, okay, did he ever play Origin?
No.
Is that Origin? No. Okay. Any rep honours at all? Like, did he play for a Tonga, Samoa?
No.
Nothing. Okay, so he played New South Wales residents in 04. So that means he made his debut for a team that was a New South Wales side.
Do you want to know where he debuted?
Yeah, where did he debut?
At the Knights.
Debuted at the Knights in 04. Retired in 11. Is it like a Matt Hilda? No, I might be down and out here. 04, debuted at the Knights. Who was the Queensland club he said he played for? Titans. Knights, Titans.
Want to take a stab at the other club?
Is it a New South Wales club?
It is.
Debuted at the Knights, 2004. So that was when Joey
I
was
debuted
playing.
against the Dragons.
Yeah, it doesn't help
Useful.
me. Played hooker. I'm trying to think. So Danny Badiris would have been the hooker then. Would you say 5'8", second row and hooker?
Correct.
5'8", second row and hooker. Not Matty Hilda. Who was like 04 was like Joey. Gidley boys would have been up there. I'm trying to think of second rowers. Fuck, I think I might be down and out here. He might have stumped me.
It's a tough one.
Have you heard the name before?
I have, but it's also a really generic name. No offense to this guy.
It's a very generic name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like pretty generic surname.
Like a Smith or something?
Like those areas.
Yeah, okay. Titans 2011. So
Just remember he only played 76. Not
I
only.
know.
Like
Yeah,
it's not many games. So the biggest chunk of his career was at the Knights. I will tell you that his second club was the Roosters. And then he moved over to the Gold Coast Titans, where he finished his representative career.
So started at the Knights, moved to the Roosters, and then ended up at the Gold Coast Titans. He played for the Titans. He played finals for the Titans.
I haven't confirmed that. He played 2010, 2011 at the Gold Coast Titans. He played 08, 09 at the Roosters.
08, 09, that was the centenary years. That's like Mace and Astor. Hooker and second row. I have got no fucking idea. No.
What?
I was going to say one of the younger Orbisons, but they're not from Bundaberg.
No, not an Orbison. In his first game for the Sydney Roosters, this player infamously injured South Sydney player Craig Wing in the 8th minute of the match with a shoulder charge into Wing's
Riley
back.
Brown?
Correct.
Fuck, that's niche. That's good.
I
Riley
can't
Brown.
believe you remember
Wow.
a tackle on Craig Wing.
I have no recollection of Riley Brown playing for the Newcastle Knights. None at all. I remember him at the Roosters. I remember him at the Titans
He played
briefly.
40 games for the Newcastle
Did he
Knights.
really?
He did.
Wow.
And then 27 for the Roosters and just 9 for the Titans.
Riley Brown, that's niche. All right,
Super
1-0.
niche.
He takes
Okay.
it today. Let's go again.
Let's go again. Okay. Born in Bully, New South Wales.
Yep.
Played 54 NRL games and 135 Super League games.
How many NRL games?
54.
Yeah, and about 150 Super League.
135.
Yep.
Yep. Played in 2 final series, 7 years apart.
2 NRL final series, and he only played 50 games, and that was 7 years apart.
I guess. I mean, you're now rewording it all.
No, that's just a lot
However,
of time apart. Okay. Have you given me a debut year yet?
No. Debuted 2001, retired 2008.
From the NRL or from football?
I would assume this is from the NRL.
Okay.
I think this one might be harder than the first one.
I think this one's heaps harder.
Yeah.
Like
respectfully, Super League's not your strong suit.
No.
It's not mine either.
So you don't know if you don't.
No, I'm looking now. Okay. so he retired from football in 08.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
But he spent time in the Super League in between that. So
Yeah, okay.
what I will tell you is that he left Australia,
Yeah.
but he came back and played another season here before he retired.
Okay, sweet.
So his career was sandwiched by NRL games.
A Super League sub, as we call it.
Yes. We'll call it a little loan.
Okay, so debut in 01, retired in 08, did you say?
Yes.
I'm going to have a first guess.
Mm-hmm.
Did he leave a Sydney club and return to a Sydney club?
Yes.
Did he play for Queensland?
No.
No? Okay.
Far. I really thought you had this one.
So did I. I was going to say Danny Nutley. It's not Danny Nutley.
No.
No, he probably debuted before 01, to be fair.
Played 3 seasons in the NRL.
Altogether?
Holistically played 3 seasons
Fucking hell.
for 3 different clubs. Bit of a weird career, if I'm honest.
Oh, Christ. Okay, so...
01
Yeah.
01 NRL.
Yeah.
02 NRL, different team.
Yeah.
03 to 07, not in Australia.
Which Super League team did he play for? Not that
Warrington
that'll help me much.
Wolves.
Okay. Won't help me at all. Yeah.
08 came back before I retired and finished off with one more NRL club.
So came back in 08 and retired at the club he came back at?
Correct.
Fucking hell.
Scored 17 NRL tries, mostly on the wing.
A winger? That's tough.
I'm going to give you the clubs because I
give me
think
the
this
clubs
is really
'cause I'm at
complicated.
millions
This
here.
is really difficult. Cronulla Sharks was my first club. South Sydney was my second. I went and played for Warrington for the 4 seasons. Came back to Sydney Roosters where I finished. Played 15 games for the Roosters in 08.
Okay, so 01 I played for the
Cronulla Sharks.
02 I played for South Sydney. So he's in the
Correct.
original South Sydney side that came back in
24 games for South Sydney
that year.
that year. So pretty much a full season.
Who was in that side? Like your Lee Hookies, your Nathan Merritts, Fletcher.
Played fullback, wing and centre. Most notable for my tries on the wing.
And then came back and played 1 season for the Roosters in
15 games for the Roosters in 08.
in 08. Is it Justin Carney? No. No, I've got no idea.
Do you want me to say?
No, give me fuck, this
I
is
think
way too
you'll
niche.
get it.
Yeah, I'm confident I'll get it.
You're
Roosters
going
08.
through the little filing cabinet in your brain. What
South
else can
Sydney-
I-
Oh, God, that Rabbitohs team is hard to remember. I'm trying to remember guys that featured in that side that were on the wing. Nathan Merritt was on one wing, I'm pretty
I
sure.
got 9 tries that year.
And he came from Cronulla. And then he went
Came
to
from
South
Cronulla.
Sydney.
Yeah,
He played for the Roosters in 08.
he did. He played 15 games for them, scored 3 tries.
Christ, he's giving me a curveball here.
He has. He said this one might challenge you.
Yeah, fucking oath it would. You know who would get this?
Who?
Matty the Water Boy.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Because he
South
knows
Sydney
that South City
O2
squad
side
back
through
to front.
and through. Cronulla, South Sydney. Roosters,
There's really
08.
nothing more that I can provide about this person. I can give you their initials. I can try and describe what their head looks like.
Give me their initials.
BG.
B. G. So a Ben or a Bo or a... Have I said their first name yet?
No.
Shit. Or a Brad.
No. You're closer with Brad.
Close with Brad. Brad. I don't know what that means.
It means there's more letters in Brad that are similar to the actual name.
Bradley?
No.
No.
But you're closer.
No, I think I give up. This is fucked.
Brent.
Oh, Brent.
When something's
He's called
yuck.
Brent Gross.
Yeah.
Fuck. Jesus Christ, that's niche. How many NRL games did you play altogether?
54.
Fucking prick odd stats. 50
Yeah,
was the line.
You made your you
Good
set the
God,
conditions.
that's hard. Fuck. That's rattling. All right. 2-0. Fair play to him.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Holy shit. That was rattling.
That's a level of guess-roo that is just not built for the average.
You know
footy
what?
fan.
Next time Matty the Waterboy's in here, we're going to give him that exact
Love
thing.
it. Let's actually test to see if he watches the Catch-Up.
I'm going to back the Waterboy to get that. I reckon he would. Brent Gross. That was a good one.
That's a great one.
That was a cracker. All right. Well, I need to
Love
go and
it.
have a nap
I know.
because I'm exhausted after that.
Yeah, I'm
That was
tired
tough.
from kind of watching it all.
That was tough. That was brutal.
Yeah.
I like that though. That they should be hard.
I mean, I'm still impressed that you got the surname.
Yeah, it took a lot. When you said when something's, I was like, okay, I know.
Yeah,
I
when
know where this
something's
is
yuck.
going.
I like how I said that. Was really nice.
That was good. All right, shout out to him. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram.
At
putting out great
at NRL Odd Stats.
things. At NRL Odd Stacks. Go give him a follow. Follow along. Putting out some fantastic content over there. We done, Mandu?
We're done. Now I'm Mandu.
Yeah, it's great.
That's
It's evolved.
crazy, man. Anyway, we can't pick our nicknames, can we?
No, you can't.
They get bestowed upon us, and it is what it is. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. That is 2 guess-roos. That is a loss, 2 losses in a row
That's
now
2
for
Ls.
Rugby League Guru. He might need to change his name after this episode.
I'll have to change the app. It's been a tough few days.
It's not giving Guru vibes.
It's not
is
giving
it?
Guru vibes at all. 0 from 2 in tips, 0 from 2 in guess-roo. It's been a tough few days. We need some redemption. If anyone else out there wants to send some in too,
Yeah.
flick them in. Give me a challenge.
Yeah. And send them to me because we don't want Guru seeing them
Because
before.
I can and will cheat if given the opportunity. Know that. Know that.
I love it. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed a more relaxed episode of the Catch-Up. It's been quite literally just us chatting, which is so nice sometimes because life gets very busy here at the Guru Studios and we don't get a chance to do that. So thanks for joining us for our chats and we will see you next week.
Hooroo.